What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I haven't done an in-depth Mullen for quite some time. Just looking at the charts, you guys have kind of been getting the short end of the stick because there's so many things that are moving and being talked about. So let's just focus on Mullen in this video, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. I'll show you kind of some important levels. We'll look at the ortex and we will go from there. So markets overall going good, right? What do we have today? We have the State of the Union going on this evening. Now, in I think history, it's often like about a 1% move typically, and usually it's to the bullish side, but every now and then it goes to the bearish side. Our markets have been running really well, and maybe that was in preparation for Mr. Powell and State of the Union this evening, so keep that in mind. Maybe we will get another bullish day tomorrow. We'll see how everything goes. We'll see what's addressed in the State of the Union. Not political or anything, just telling you what's out there. I don't care if you like the guy or you don't. But either way, I think it's going to have some sort of impact on the markets tomorrow whenever we open up. Do we have CPI coming out as well, or is that next week? I'd have to look at the calendar. Maybe just State of the Union going to be the main factor for this week. While I'm thinking about it, I don't say this often, but 8 out of 10 of you still have not hit that subscribe button. So if you would be so kind, you would be amazing if you would just take the time out. Sometimes I don't tag the videos to whatever's going to be searchable, and at least you'll get an alert for anything that I'm throwing out there. All right, so let's get into Mullen. Let's look at it. What are we looking at? So I have a fib here from basically our high of the run to our low where we started this run. What's going to be important right here is really holding the 40.61 area, call it 40 and a half. I know we want 42 in the big picture, but as of right now for this run, 40 and a half is fine. We're sitting at 41.60 in the after hours. You can kind of see what we did. We've made this push. We've tapped pretty well perfectly off of the fibs, and we came down and we did a retest of our trend line, which did get the bounce back up. We're at the 786, basically holding right to it, so it's either going to act as support or it's going to act as resistance. I would keep a close eye as to what's going on right here in this area between 40 and a half and 41 and a half. Just going to be a tight little channel between both of our fibs, so that's why we're seeing it cling right in here right now. As far as our Bollinger Bands, we're sitting pretty much right in the middle, so we have enough room to go to the upside or to the downside. As far as our 1 hour charts go, our 4 hour charts, again, we're still pretty close to center of that. How are we looking on the daily? Yeah, I mean, we're still centered out pretty much on all time frames. Our 30-minute RSI did drop a little bit below our trend line that we've been following, but it's working its way back up to reclaim it. You can see it right here. So we're just sitting a fuzz above 50, which keeps us in that bullish territory, but it's not anything too hot or too crazy that it, is going to keep us real excited. Our 4 hour is still lingering above, possibly coming down to test even with the daily. So if we do see a pullback, we might see a little bit of cool off, consolidation, and possibly the upward pressure might drop off just for a little bit. Let that RSI cool off on the longer time frames, and kind of go from there with another bounce. So keep an eye on it as far as what your RSIs are doing. Hopefully they stay in the bullish territory. Good buying pressure came in here at the end of the day to make that push back up, so this setup's not terrible. What we want to see in the immediate future would be some sort of higher high, preferably. If you want to play the cup and handle, if it works out, then we're looking wherever they want to call the cup. I mean, it could be anywhere in the 43 to 43 and a half cent range. Make a little handle and push on to the upside if that cup and handle would want to play out. Also looking at our volume profile, we do have quite a bit of volume that comes in for us in between the channel where I guess the area where we currently sit, 41.60 up to about that 44-cent range, and we get some selling pressure there. Seems like above 44 cents the FOMO really steps in. Our volume profile cuts back, and you kind of get that FOMO and that gamma that just adds to the buying pressure. We haven't seen a whole lot of selling pressure yet above 44 cents, but it's a struggle to get there with everything that we have going on. It's kind of a chop zone, so going to be a little tough to pull its way through there, but let's see if it can do it, especially if the markets continue to hold out strong, if EVs continue to hold on. And we are on the threshold list. That's new. Yeah, I guess we are. Why would we be on the threshold list? That's interesting. Saying as of what, February 3rd, Friday, February 3rd. Did we have some? I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me why we would be on the threshold list. 13.11% live short interest of the free float, and coming in at 185.95 million live short interest. Cost to borrow 41.48%. Not bad, and still I don't think that we're seeing dilution come in yet. We'll keep I'll fix that later. Anyway, we'll keep a close eye on it. If this selling pressure seems to get a little bit stubborn, then maybe we'll be looking at something different, but keep an eye on what we got to do. I mean, there has to be some sort of breakout right in this area, so that's going to be the tough one, because the breakout's going to be around 43.5 cents, which is pushing us to that 44-cent area where this channel's already tough for us to move through, and we'll see if it can do it. It's going to do what it can. Just a fuzz. Is it below the point? Yeah, just a fuzz. No. Well, on our 30-minute, we're just a fuzz below the point of control, but on our hourly, we're okay. So wouldn't worry too much about that. Let's see. How's Tesla doing, actually? Tesla's killing it. Tesla is kind of flat topping out right here at a point of resistance that I have drawn anyway on my charts. So let's see if Tesla can continue to make its breakout and push to the upside. I think the EV sector overall is helping us to a degree, so I don't want to see Tesla give anything back. How's our other ones doing? Neo's not doing as hot. What else could we check? We could check Sin. Sin is one that we thought was kind of comparable. Sin's been having very nice action. So, again, kind of looking like the Mullen chart. It's just starting to ease off and consolidate just a little bit. And we'll see what that does. Fisker, is Fisker doing anything lately? FSR. No, not really. Just kind of doing the similar consolidation, but we can still see it's trying to make that upward move. So, I mean, everything in the EV sector is moving along in the right direction, which I do think is helping Mullen to a degree. Still waiting for some sort of news out of DM, out of Mullen overall, what we got going on with IGO, maybe if there's any new contracts, maybe if they've got any government funding, or what they're doing with their new facilities. Do we have them anywhere close to being up and running so that we can start manufacturing some cars? Just keep an eye on the news. I think we're doing good as far as everything that went on, right, with the vote, and still being able to push forward from this point. It could have been a whole lot worse, and I was very happy to see that it wasn't as bad as I anticipated. But this isn't necessarily, I wouldn't call it bearish or bullish. It could take a little bit of time to play out somewhere into the end of Thursday if we just want to do some consolidation here before it decides to make its break. Sometimes whenever we have this pattern coming into it with the upswing, then we could often break to the upside. So not terrible in my opinion, but they're just patterns, they're just statistics, they don't always have to work out. So keep an eye on that as well. Draw them up on your charts, get your taps right. I think we'll get a third tap, so there's a good chance that there's going to be a little bit of consolidation coming into possibly Wednesday, Thursday. We'll see how the markets do tomorrow after State of Union. SPY, like I said, is just off the hook right now. I've never seen anything quite like what I'm seeing in SPY. The moves that are happening throughout the day are just all over the place. Like, those are 30-minute candles. Bang, bang, right? That was JP. This is probably getting set up for State of the Union potentially. So let's see if it wants to test the upper trend line again. That would push you back into that 418 to 420 range. I think we have a fib around 418, and we got our trend line at 420. So 10%, I don't know, or 1% actually. If we're looking at a 1% move, that's what, $4, that's 418. That would take you back to the fib line. We'll see if it works out. You're in this chop range, a lot of chop that's going on. So between the 408 and the 411 was hard to get out of. We got out of there. We're gonna face that chop up until about 416. You see the breakout at 416. Realistically, 418, 420 could be in play. If we get down here and start breaking back into our area that we were chopping, if we get below that 408 that's been acting as a very nice level of support, I think we see some quick movement to the downside, but it's just going to be a rocky area between 411 and 416. And either way, from there, I think we get a quick $2 move once you get out of that chop. So that's what I'm watching. That's what I'm looking at. I will catch you guys in the next one. I hope you had a good day in the markets. As always, stay golden, people, and may your accounts stay green.